but there was a family that knocked on the door, and there was 2 kids, a mum and a dad, and I'm standing there, and I'm like, yeah, what do you want? Wasn't rude, but what? I was like, I've come round to see whether these 2 lads have been knocking and running on your house, and if they have, I want them to apologise to you. Have you noticed anyone knocking on the door and running?
So weird coming back in. He went, it's been about 13, 14 years, Lyndsey, since you were last here.
These days, people seem to think that words are like violence, aren't they? You know, bullets in exchange for words. It's just, yeah.
I've had enough. He literally knocked on, and he went, I've had enough, Lyndsey. And he had his suitcase, and he went, I am going to get a hotel.
I've done the 24-hour fast, and then I got on a plane, and I think dehydration must be a massive factor in gout. Yeah.
Well, I drink loads of water. I wouldn't know.
So I was dehydrated. Got on the plane. We got off the plane. We went out for drinks and meals, and so I was fully dehydrated. The next morning, my toe. Oh my God! It was just awful.
It is bad, isn't it?
So bad. Really?
People, in their legs. So there were girls that ended up going to hospital on our team because it was just it's not natural to them that long.
I've had it about 18 months now. Probably that's the second time it's been washed. But I had to do it because basically, domestically, we have this kind of issue with rubbish sometimes, right? Where, I don't know whether you have it, the bin men only come every other week where we live. So for some reason, we just get a massive build-up of bin bags and stuff like that. And it's in the garage, and then you might forget to put the bin out, which compounds the issue. So it's then 4 weeks. So then occasionally you have to go and do this run down the dump. Of course, like getting bin bags out of the bin into the back of your car.
Yeah.
It's just, there's leaks and we call it bin juice. Yeah, I do, but you still can't. You've got like flies and like bin juice, and it sort of leaks out the bottom of the bag into the car. So anyway, subsequently on Sunday, me and my wife were driving the car, and we were driving back home after going to the duct, all the windows down,
smelled lovely,
flies sort of flying out. So I had to go and get it washed.
Did you spill bin juice?
The guy had to get one of these jet wash things. They had to take the whole back of the boot thing out and jet wash it. So I told him we might as well do the whole car.
Paul's the only guy I know his car failed the MOT because it was so dirty. You couldn't see it.
That is part of the MOT testing routine. So yes.
So what colour is that actually?
What car?
Yeah.
I said it's white.
I thought it was. The lads at the office said it was grey, but I knew it was
white.
I had
an issue really as well with the boot from a similar exercise a few months ago where the boot was so full up with stuff that I was trying.
Chocolate bar wrappers,
you have the choice. You either take stuff out of the boot and close it properly, or you leave everything in there and just do one run but force the boot shut. So I forced the boot shut and it's twisted the boot. So now you're driving down the road and the boot pops open.
My husband likes cleaning, and my cars, they are...
job for him.
Yeah. They are immaculate. I think I take it for granted. I'll clean the car happily. I quite enjoy cleaning the car. But inside, I'll come home and it's just, right, straight away, Lynn, I'm just going to go pop out and hoover the cars. I'll go, you don't really need to, Matt. They're pretty clean. No, I'm going to hoover the cars, make sure they're clean. I
think once they're clean, you almost want to keep. I do feel now it's clean that I should keep it clean, but time on
exactly the same. It's like a new car. It's lovely. A month later, the kids have been in, feet everywhere, chocolate wrappers on the floor.
You wrap your sandwiches and chuck your boxes in the back.
Mine's always full of fizzy water bottles. Got on a journey out to here today.
No.
I might have 4 or 5 bottles, and then you don't take them out, and you go out the second day. You can have like 10 bottles of water on your seat.
Why don't you just you're not the environment guys? Just buy a big bottle, sort the water out.
I like fizzy.
It's fizzy. I'm sad.
Find a matter. Anyway, everyone, we are here today doing this Uncut podcast, and we're at MJ Engineering in Market Harborough. We're doing some filming today on a Star machine, and you know what's really cool? It was on their wish list, the Star machine to buy for so long, and he's got it, and David's got it, and he is over the moon in so many ways. So I think it'll be a really good video, just nice, genuine, just nice story of saying, I really wanted it, I've got it, and you know what? It's done more than I expected. It's kind of cool. So that's why we're doing this podcast here on site.
I came here, we were trying to establish this earlier. I think it was about 7 years ago, last time I came here. So he's got a Belia here as well. Yeah. He's got a couple of Doosan shees, and In fact, the first time I came in, I think it was to do with the microlock system, because I think a few of he's moved things around now, but he's set in Bridgeports with
all the Doosands there.
Yeah. So yeah, good company.
I'll never forget when I worked. I was working for the finance company, and then I moved to DMG Murray years and years and years ago. And I knocked on to David here to bring him a chocolate calendar just before Christmas from DMG Murray, because they gave out some gifts, and I kind of like hand delivered it and said just thank you and just a little catch up. So he never forgets that, and nor do I. You know, when you just had that moment in time, that good memory. And he said, and I said, oh, you know, it's so weird coming back here. And he went, it's been about 13, 14 years, Lyndsey, since you were last here.
Yeah. Saying to him earlier as well about some of the differences now, I said, do you get reps knocking on the door?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, and he's like, it just doesn't really happen. It was almost like it triggered something in his mind where it's like, yeah, that did used to happen, but it doesn't really now. So that's quite a change, isn't it? Because I remember, like, he's got the big shutter door open. And in my day, that was like straight in. The door's open, you go in, you know. But
you don't follow the sign that will say, please head to reception, no entry.
No, because you're going to get, it's a roadblock, isn't it?
The old trick used to be saying no reps are at an appointment. So you go in. So if you've got an appointment, say, no, but I'm coming to make an appointment. Oh, okay, when's he available? This way it's available now, is he? You know.
I mean, that saves so much time in one, and
that's the hardest bit, isn't it? I think of selling when you do something like that. It's that first 30 seconds of meeting the person you want to meet. You could, initially, their backs up, aren't they? They're like, you know, the audacity of you to come and walk in here. But then gradually, you can just notice them temper, and then you break through it and you think, oh, I've succeeded. So
I felt like that. We went to the UK Metals Expo yesterday. I was quite nervous. Like, we had a few appointments there as well, but we went to speak to people. And I think you need a little bit of a warm-up, and you get used to it. And then we warmed up, and then you went, I've got to go, Lyndsey. And I'm like, well, I'm not doing this on my own. I'm not walking around the show once our appointments have finished. So, you do need a little bit of just that warming and getting to know someone.
But I'm the reverse when someone does it to me. So, like, for example, if, like the other day, someone knocked on our front door, and when people knock and cold call on the front door, I can't stand it. Yet here I am saying about walking through people's doors. But there was a family that knocked on the door, and there was 2 kids, a mum and a dad, and I'm standing there and I'm like, yeah, what do you want? Wasn't rude, but what? I've come around to see whether these 2 lads have been knocking and running on your house, and if they have, I want them to apologise to you. Have you noticed anyone knocking on the door and running? And like, to be honest, I don't really answer the door very often, so no. But I was like, you know, how kind of nice was that of the mum and dad to think, right, boys, you've been knocking Ginger in, so we're going to take you around the whole street and.
That's good. Ironically, it's the same night your car went missing, isn't it?
You know what? That's quite funny. You've triggered a memory in my mind, because last year I took my mum over to Ireland to go and see a place that she'd not been since she was probably about 10 years of age, and a clinic in Ireland, and a little town.
What's wrong with that?
You are.
I thought you went to a clinic.
It's called clinic, but yeah. I like it. But anyway, long story short was, we went into the local pub and asked some questions, and they said, oh, they live down there, the Kellys, they live there. And then they said, oh, just knock on that person's door and they'll be in. So we knocked on one. They said, oh, they're not in, but they're in here. Sent us to another house. We knocked on the door. No word of a lie, I swear on my life. We spent 2 hours in this lady's house. She had some fresh apple pie, cream, and a cup of tea. And they were talking about people that my mom knew when she was a child, and it was wonderful. And this lady was the last lady alive of 11 siblings. So you can imagine, like, we were just thinking, oh my gosh, this timing is just amazing. But to think that we knocked on, imagine one person coming to your door, like you've just said, oh, what's this for? Coming to your door. And then 2 hours later, you're feeding them food and drinks in your house. Like, you don't do that now. But in Ireland, I love that place for that.
Yeah, you wouldn't get it in Paul's house.
You certainly wouldn't.
Unless his wife answered the door. But not Joe Paul would.
No,
Paul wouldn't share his apple pie.
I don't eat apple pie, but yeah, no, I wouldn't. And I'm not. Ireland to me, that is, we go there. In fact, I'm going there.
I love that.
It's to Smithstown in about 4 or 5 weeks' time, which is near Shannon. So I'm going over that side. But for me, my experience of Ireland is it always rains. It's always raining. It's like you ask Joe Amos, it's like every time we land, like, Joe, it's raining again.
You need to spend more time over there.
Really?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I love that place. I just love the people. It's just so friendly. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I love it. Yeah. Anyway.
Anyway, say hi to Sharon from me.
Anyway, moving on. How's everything going, guys? How are you finding business, work? And I guess there's been some quite sad news yesterday, hasn't there? In the news as well, hasn't? Yeah. In America.
Yeah, from the States.
Yeah.
A bit of a shock to see that. Regardless where you are politically, I think we all agree there's no place for that. It was a shock. It's someone I don't follow a great deal, but clearly he's very active on social media, as am I. So seemed a very clever, intelligent young man to me. So it's, terrible.
Yeah, I mean, when this goes out, it's probably going to be a few days ago. Obviously, we're filming this on the day after. But yeah, I saw that last night come through on the news, and I just thought to myself, honestly, what is the world? Young children, and whatever your political views, you'd like to think that these days people seem to think that words are like violence, aren't they? Bullets in exchange for words. It's just there is no.
But from what I've seen, he's articulate. He sees both sides of an argument, and just a debater. Just happens to be a conservative commentator, a Trump fan, and unfortunately,
I think regardless of your views politically about him, it's just it's terrible.
It's tragic.
Terrible.
And politically as well, and globally, economy-wise, can we talk about how you guys are finding it?
We've obviously got the budget that's going to be coming out. I think it's November the 28th or something like that, which is pushed back a month, actually, isn't it? Normally in October.
Yeah, they said it was going to be October, like normal, autumn statement, and they pushed it back for whatever reason. Yeah,
and I suppose there's two things, isn't there? It's personally how that affects you, how things are, and obviously business too. David here, he might pop on the show later, but he's busy. He's bought a new machine that you talk about.
Yeah.
And I think our visits as a company, we're still visiting companies that have bought new technologies and stuff. So, we were on one last week, which I'm sure we'll talk about in this podcast. But yeah, I think it's a challenging time, but you just have to see what the next couple of months brings. Really, we're in the better part. You like to think now. This time of the year, for our sector, sort of September is what everyone talks about, don't they?
Yeah.
Although we've all had a summer and you want to go back to your summer holidays, but when it comes to business, you want to
get back into it.
So
yeah, exactly that. Obviously, it's easy to see the negatives in life, isn't it? Certainly in business and the markets, but it's still challenging for most of our clients. But there's lots of good stuff happening as well. SMMT report out last night or this morning. Automotive struggling. It's still worth like 115 or 120 billion worth in trades. It's still not a bad sector to be in, is it? So everyone's down on your automotive sector, but even that's still generating a great deal of value. It's poor. We know it's poor, but equally got to be positive. Got to keep fighting for that next machine tool sale, your market share, and all the rest of it. So it's
okay. And we went to Leicestershire the other day as well. They have this incredible project, and I'm seeing, we're talking about business here, but it's actually seeing success stories of how, I think it's quite inspiring, I guess, to see and hear success stories of people who are doing well, and that kind of survival of what is going on in the times that we're going through, and what people are doing to make sure that they are cost effective. I think with Leicestershire, they do a lot of measurement of components. So instead of having it where someone's checking over a component every single time, they've got a triangle system. You are far better to explain this than me. Where the star machine speaks to the measurement system, which is speaking to Leicestershire Central, and they're all working together, transferring data to get that data off the measurement of the 100th part, so then they can send 73 tool offsets from 33 tools back to the system.
Are you reading? There's like
I'm just sweating. No, but... so that cycle can keep going, and they've reduced so many what were previous costs to themselves so they can make that project cost effective. I hope I've explained it in some way.
Yeah, I mean, I think, Joe, when you used to run a machine, you always used to run the first off, didn't you? Measure it, check it.
First off, last off, yeah.
First off, last off, check, and then you just guess everything in between was
going to be right. You presume if the first and last are correct, you presume all the other ones were correct also.
Yeah. So what Lyndsey's saying there, which is how they had this a family of components, basically. But instead of measuring the family of components, they had this setting piece, setting block, which they machined at the start, and then basically measured and they used every tool, so they could basically check every tool, every position, and then they used that as a way of setting the machine in order to make the parts run successfully. And then instead of measuring the parts, at the end of 100, they then measured the setting block. Again, machined another setting block and measured it. So it's just a flipped way of doing it in a way.
It is, and I've been to all the Renishaw sites actually. I didn't come on a visit to Miskin, but I've been there previously.
You missed the curry.
And they do.
It was a good curry.
First thing I'll say, I would have never got a job as a machinist at Renishaw. They're a different level to I ever was. But they almost invent their own rules, don't they? You know, even with their CMM, it's a comparator rather than a CMM. So they're very clever people there. They're very clever people. But one thing's for sure, next time you go, there'll be something even more impressive. They never stand still. They always evolve.
The machine shop, unbelievably clean, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
You walk through there and you go, I mean, I was very, very commendable. I think I said on the video we did, you walk around, they even have got certain guarding around the swarf conveyors. You can't see the swarf conveyors because they would deem them kind of, an eyesore, I suppose.
It's the old Bosch factory, isn't it?
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Telephone junction off the motorway.
I went there many moons ago and had a real job trying to sell cutting tools badly. And it's that's fair to say it wasn't quite as clean as the Renishaw building is today. So
yeah, he was telling us some stories about the trains that used to take parts from there to Cardiff, wasn't he? I can't remember the detail. But yeah, I got there on the train in the end as well. Hellish journey home. Absolute. In fact, I left Cardiff, I don't know, about 3:30, because I just left you guys.
Yeah.
I just booked a taxi and I was like...
You did an Irish goodbye.
Yeah, the team's cool.
Yeah, the team's cool. And and I ended up getting home about 9:30, so it was about a five-hour journey back, which I'd still rather sit on the train than drive a car.
Well, you can work as well, but it was a long night for you.
Oh, yeah, it was, yeah. Stopped in London on the way back. Had something to eat and then did the final hop home. But it's definitely a place. I mean, I don't get to go on as many trips these days or jobs, but when you go on them, it's nice to. It's like coming back here today. You come through the doors, and you're back in a machine shop.
It's like it's home.
You're back in a machine shop again. You're seeing, machines cutting and all the rest of it.
It's the smell. I often find you walk in somewhere, you're like, okay, this is home, which is really strange.
Yeah, do you know how you smell like this?
No, it doesn't. Nah, but yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's what I would say. EMO, guys, that's not far away. We are going to have I'm really excited this year. I think a couple of years ago, I was nervous. I don't know whether it was because Saffron was really young and being away from her and it was all quite nerve-wracking. But this time, I mean, she's still really young. She's 3. But I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a good event.
Yeah. Me too. I always like it. It's long enough. 5 days for us to be there is long enough because it's pretty hard work. Isn't it?
It is, yeah. But good.
But we stand quite close to the actual halls this time around, which is much better because very different from the previous places like Joe's booked for you. Which
no, you booked it for, and it was probably the worst place I've ever stayed in my entire life. I was petrified. And I think no words need to be said about it, to the point where Gio walked out on the last day, on the Thursday of EMO last year, and walked out of the place that we were all staying and just went, I've had enough. He literally knocked on and he went, I've had enough, Lyndsey. And he had his suitcase and he went, I am going to get a hotel. Yeah. And so we stayed in this lush hotel the last night and it was amazing.
I thought it was quite nice compared to what we used to book.
Yeah, we've done that so many times now, though, because it's really difficult to get accommodation. And if you do get it, it's hellishly expensive. But they're like flats, aren't they? People just move out of their house.
Yeah.
So you go in there, you've got pictures on the wall, you've got, all their cutlery, their dishes, or even food in the fridge and stuff like that. Even their geology of the shit.
Yeah. Front door, do you remember? Yeah.
And we go in these places, but someone must be making a killing out of this too, because they're not cheap. And these people move out. So this time we haven't got any of that yet, and I'm looking forward to it.
No, and also all the pictures on the website when you booked it looked entirely different to what actually the place was.
Yeah, sorry, that one's unavailable now. Yeah, this one.
Yeah. But it's fine. It's a story to tell, and that's the best part of it.
Sure. It's going to be a busy week, isn't it? Like, I'm not old enough to remember. It used to be 2 weeks, I think, was it, EMO? So imagine that, a 2-week EMO show, crikey. But I enjoy it. I love it, in fact.
I love it.
But it's fair to say, come Friday night, I'll be ready to go home, for sure.
And you say about it being a 2-week show, yes. But you imagine the shows used to be even busier then as well, because you didn't have the internet to do your research. So probably, I guess, the footfall was a lot greater, which meant you had to work harder. That takes some stamina. I must admit, nowadays for us, we work hard, we know what we're doing, we're well drilled. We get there, we go on the stands and do what we need to do. But I think standing on one stand all day doing kind of what I used to do, it's really hard.
Do you remember the London Motor Show? And I remember working, and I stayed at London Bridge, and I worked on. Oh goodness me! I'll remember the net not Nissan. It was similar, but big car stand. It was quite some years ago, and it was 12-hour days for 2 weeks. It's a 2-week show, 12-hour days, and then we were staying in central London, and there were girls. I think I've said this on a podcast before, but there were girls who had shoes on and they had heels, and they were going to hospital because that standing on a stand for such a long period of time was injuring people, in their legs. So there were girls that ended up going to hospital on our team because it's not natural to stand that long, which is crazy when I look back. But it was quite some years ago. But wow, that was long. So EMO is really short for me. It's fine. I'm ready. I'm ready for it.
But the thing is, it's you have the day, and then in the evening you just need to chill a bit, and you something to eat and have a drink and all the rest of it. And then you get tired from that, and you get to the end of the week, and it's just like,
Don't you just love it, though? Do you not just love it? Or
I do. There's half of me that loves it, but there's the other half of me that goes, it's really, really hard work. And it's that focus all the time when you're filming. I think it gets my brain is you're going from stand to stand, and you're trying to do the sort of journalist thing to communicate the technologies and so forth. And it really sucks the life out of it. You feel like on it when you're doing the job. But the minute you finish, you just, it's almost like you just
until Friday. But, that for me is that finishing that it's not the finish on the night. The night's a part of the day. In my head, that's how I see it. So it's like 5-day stint, go for it, and
I'm a stand, and I deflate after. I just have to,
You have to, right? You can't take. Obviously, we've got close friends now as much as clients at EMO, but you still have to represent yourself professionally, don't you? Even into the evenings. So you're there till 8, 9 o'clock at night potentially on their stands, sharing a glass of water or something slightly stronger. Then it's you're absolutely exhausted. You're mentally exhausted. You got a tight schedule. I've just finished this one. Crikey, you've only got 20 minutes to get to the next one, and it's.
I'm going to be interested to see what you're because you've got one of these things you wear now to check your sleep and stuff, haven't you? Interesting to see what that what you. In fact, I'm going to get one of those before
it'll be going berserk because it does. You're constantly over your daily average and all that.
But you do that, don't you? You do like body health checks and stuff.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But that thing he's talking about there,
just whoop for everyone at home.
Yeah. That's just going to determine how much sleep you've had, the quality of sleep that you've had. I think there's a flip side to that too. It kind of scares me as well though, because I'll look at it and go, I've only had an hour or 2 hours. Because
we'll go to bed when the show finishes then.
Yeah, but I didn't. You just that element of exhaustion. It's
the bit with the roof there. You only need 4 hours sleep. That's the whole point. But it's got to be good sleep.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I average just under 3 hours quality sleep a night, but I sleep for obviously considerably more.
Right. Yeah. But that's not the only
Health and Wellbeing podcast. Welcome.
I know. Welcome.
Yes. Well, because I also do a lot of the intermittent fasting. But that's hard to do. We were saying earlier at EMO because you the demands on your body and your brain and stuff, and everything else that you're doing extra curriculum wise, it just doesn't work. So my whole system gets thrown out in a week's time.
You just got to put it down as a bad week health wise, haven't you? And just get back on it when you get home.
Yeah. And then when we get back, there's quite a few events coming up. I think towards the end of the year.
Well, we get into open house season then, don't we?
Yeah.
So I know I'm at Star Open House as well. You've got a couple that you're doing, is that right?
So we've got the Star Open House, which I would say to people watching this, they always put on, it's kind of extra special, isn't it, when you look at the sort of applications that they create. I don't know what the theme's going to be this year. There's always something different. Like last year was the screwdriver.
Yes.
Remember the screwdriver they made? So they machined.
Incredible. Probably one of the best, if not the best.
Giveaway
/ demo I've seen.
You looked at all the parts that went together, and hats off to Alec and Chaz and his team for designing that. But and then there was the lightsaber that they did a year or so before. What's it going to be this time round? What are they going to make? But that is the one thing. It's a draw. Sometimes people put on open houses and just say, right, we'll open the doors, and you got to have a reason for people to come.
You know what's interesting, and not just because we're here, so it's a bit coincidental with what you're saying, but Chaz and Alec put a lot of time into that screwdriver and the way they designed it. And they were like, oh, can we make it curvier? Can we do this? They're thinking from every direction that we don't even think of how to improve it. And that kind of echoes a little bit of what David said about Star, because they weren't, they'd never had a sliding head here, wanted it, they've got it. And with all the training and everything like that, they said, I've never seen this, but it's Ben has put his business card on the front of the machine, and it's like, phone me anytime you need. I'm local, I'll be there. And they, and I'm not just saying this, it's their words, they are over the moon with just the help that they've given them to be able to go from a non-sliding head user to becoming a successful now sliding head user. And I think that is so lovely, and that is echoed with the passion from like the guys at the open house, and it's just that passion runs through it does, and those are the benefits that customers like David are picking up on. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, no, I agree. When you look at that screwdriver, a lot of these places, these open houses, you see these parts, they look $1 million, they look beautiful, lots of 3D profiling, and they look beautiful. But actually, that screwdriver, the actual mechanics of that, it's incredible, isn't it?
Like a personal hobby for them.
Yeah, exactly. So if you were to buy that, it costs you'd never buy it, it'd be too much to make. But it's, incredible engineering for sure.
Yeah, so we got that one.
It's on the website, by the way. It's worth checking that out. On
we did a video on it.
Yeah. Well, I think you did a couple, didn't you?
Yeah,
a couple of explainers. There's also the I'll be at the Mills CNC Open House. They call it the One Show.
Are they allowed to? I like it.
Yeah.
Is Ronan Keating going to be there? I'll be there if he is.
Do you watch the One Show?
No, but I know that Ronan Keating does it. I'm not home at that time. I'll go with Ronan's going.
So they've got the One Show where the focus is on two machines. So it's on DVF 5000, I think it is, which is 5-axis. They'll be doing some simultaneous machining on there. And then they've got what they're classing as like an entry-level multitasking machine. Those two words often, to me, kind of don't really go together. Yeah. But I think it's a good play on words. I think it's a way of saying you don't need to be, the cleverest person in the world, the best engineer, the best machinist to be able to use or get the best out of a multitasking machine. It's all about reducing. Basically, they're opening the doors with a theme, like
I love that.
Star. It's there is two specific focuses. So I think that one is around. I think that's the 15th and the 16th of October, which is after Star. And then there is an event at Matsura in November, which I'll be at too. In fact, this time of year, it's just becoming.
Yeah.
There's loads. We've
had holidays. I mean, you've had 6 weeks off.
I've actually had more time off than I would normally have off for. Yeah,
we Centre Parks. Where else did you go?
4 days in Lanzarote and 5 days in Centre Parks. So that's about half of one your holidays, Paul.
But yeah, now all the holidays are out of the way, it's back into the...
Can't say anything. I
haven't got 16 days.
Indeed.
Where did you went to Spain?
My mum and dad have a home, so they go out there. Yes.
Yeah.
Lyndsey calls it retirement, not holidays. You've gone for so long.
Is it in an area though? The thing that, because you were in that sort of I went to Barcelona, which I thought was fantastic.
Yeah, you love that.
Really, really loved that. But you go further down that coastline, and that's where you used to go there, like Murcia.
Murcia.
Is it not like right, nice place and that, but then you've got like English pubs with fry-ups and
not where we are, but yes,
Heineken
along the coast.
Like
there are places like that along the coast.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But
it caters for. Does it cater for? You've got those. In my mind, you've got those two types of expats. You've got the ones that want that, yeah. And then you got the ones that don't want that, I suppose.
Yeah. A lot of people live at the homes where they bought this house like 20 years ago. And a lot of people have made it their home. So a lot of people who have made it their home have integrated, like they've been in Spain a long, long time. And so they've integrated into the Spanish lifestyle. It's not just tourism, which I think is what you're kind of describing. It's not like that.
Because what I found with Barcelona...
There's a mixture.
...is I thought the food was amazing. The markets were amazing. The tapas and pinchos or whatever that they call it was just incredible. But then I think if you go, then I went to Gran Canaria in the summer, and that was far from it. That was what I consider to be the touristy side of Spain, where it's just where can you get the cheapest steak? There was pubs like €2 a pint and stuff, and
not where.
And that's what I sort of think of that bottom Alicante versus. but I don't know.
I think that's fine. You can find a lot of that, but clearly you haven't got to go too far to get a bit of culture at the same time. But it depends what you want.
Yeah.
We have gone there for so long. It's like home, and it's very much, if you want that, you can find it. But if you don't, then you got to embrace. If I think you're going to go somewhere, you embrace what you're going there for and not.
Yeah.
I also think, though, in the UK, because we don't always get the sun. To be fair, we've had a great summer this year weather-wise. But sun is a luxury to us, I think, we often find. So you're going out there just to get that sun and, but sometimes it's quite nice. Some people don't want to. You don't like to just sit down on your holidays. You tell me that. So you're not just going there for a sunshine, drinks, cheap food. You're going there to actually see what's around. And, we went to the harbour. We went to the cities and stuff. Yeah, it's good.
But on the opposite, Oh, God. That sounds like hell for me. So literally I want to sit down. Obviously, it depends whether the kids or not the kids. If the kids with you don't get a holiday. But you just lie on the sun lounger, put my AirPods on, listen to a podcast and a book, and then go to the harbour for dinner, and then come back and repeat and do that again.
Is it not a part? See, I go on holiday, and that's what's in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, do you know what? When we get there,
10 minutes in,
I'm going to be just sitting down. I'm not going to read books. I don't read books, but I'm going to listen to podcasts or whatever. But I get 10 minutes, and it's great now. My kids are older because everyone's got their element of independence, but we're all a really close family too. So we can spend great time together, but at the same time we can say, you know what, tomorrow, what are you doing? I'm going to go by that pool. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this, whatever. And I'll sit down for about 10 minutes and I go, I'm going to go for a run. And I literally was like, go out for a run in the heat, and then I'll jump in the sea, and then I'll come home and everyone's still sitting there reading their books. I just can't.
Just don't do it in the middle of the day, Paul. You told me the story.
You're around the pool and stuff, but I certainly wouldn't be going for a run, that's for sure.
I went for a run.
How did that go, by the way, the run?
It's fine. I did one in Gran Canaria. There's it got to Thursday. I was there for about 4 or 5 days, and I was like, I had terrible gout. I told you. Have you? Right, honestly.
I've been telling you for years it's a killer.
Oh my God. I've done the 24-hour fast, and then I got on a plane, and I think dehydration must be a massive factor in gout. Yeah?
I drink loads of water, I wouldn't know.
So I was dehydrated, got on the plane. We got off the plane, we went out for drinks and meals, and so I was fully dehydrated. The next morning, my toe, oh my God, it was just awful.
It is bad, isn't it?
So bad. I remember you talking to James Leet about it when you were once in the office, and I thought, my God, this was horrendous. And I'd said to my wife and the kids, you must have bashed it. You must have bashed your toe. You must have bashed your toe. But it was terrible. So I couldn't do any physical exercise. And of course, you're not supposed to really drink when you've got gout either, are you? We're on holiday, so anyway. I just anyway, got to the Thursday. It was better, and I went for a run, and I ran up the top of this mountain and back down. And this was a bit later in the afternoon, but it was still hot.
It doesn't sound like gout to me. 24 hours.
Yeah, it was quick. So, but what else could it be? Maybe I just cleared it quickly. I don't know. But
you're talking about gout on our podcast.
Yeah,
the word itself.
I know, but the amount of times he would ring me up and say, I've got gout in my knee, I've got gout in my toe, or
take a tablet every day for it now, a preventative tablet.
Do you?
I know, it's like a miracle drug.
Is it as bad in the knee as? I mean, I can't imagine it in the.
I've had it in my knee once. I couldn't get off the sofa for 3 weeks. Slept on the sofa, yeah. But traditionally, I get it in my toe. But I haven't had it. I've had it once in 2 years now. So
it's the medication.
Yeah.
So.
Anything else bar the gout that you want to cover on today's podcast?
The magazine. We need to talk about the magazine because this is the latest issue of the NTV magazine. So this is the where are we now? September issue.
Yeah, it is.
Actually, there's some really good case studies in this issue, and in fact, I noted quite a lot linking through to QR codes for videos as well, isn't there? I know there's a good story from Scotland on the microlock work holding system. I even think R&G, the Matsura story from R&G is in there. So yes,
I think what you said, and I think I heard you say it the other day with the editorial is really strong, and there's quite a lot in here. It's not, that is a real USP that Carl's really proud of.
Yeah,
it genuinely. I don't read books. I couldn't think of anything worse. I'm a podcast guy. I listen to everything, but I do generally read our magazine. There's some fantastic, unique features. We've just done one on the Brother with White House Machine Tools. Really interesting. It's a lot of it to do with the green energy and the savings and things we all know about. We've done videos in the past. Good read, and obviously the cutting tools we've got on there. There's lots of them.
In fact, that one that I did a podcast with Peter Smith.
Okay.
I think there's a
Yeah.
QR code
Correct. Yeah.
to that podcast in there, which is what you talk about. And in fact, didn't Tom go to Germany to Brother the other week to look at a machine that's going to be at EMO?
Yeah. So the new 100 tools. So Brother, we've all seen Brother machines, but this one's got 100 tools. So it is. They like using the word game changer, but I don't know what other word to use. It's
So are those 100 tools, they're not all in the machine. Do they? Is there an external source that's feeding the machine?
the other in the machine. So if you imagine
Is it double?
yes, if you imagine a Brother, you've got that, I don't know what you call it, but that's
Carousel.
the radial carousel, which is quite unique. You've got one either side, and so you've got two spinning that way, one spinning that way traditionally. They just pass each other the tool holders. Very clever. And and obviously if you start talking about automation, sometimes people may say 18, 20, 22 tools. This isn't enough potentially occasionally, but now 100 tools, it's just
Because
fantastic.
that would have that's always been the thing with these, these BT30 machining centres. You've always been thinking there's a restriction, and I wonder how many times as a sales guy you would go into a meeting to talk about a machine, and the first question is, well, you got enough tools? So how am I going to
Lose a sale by
lose a sale to I haven't got enough tools? So that's a really interesting
100 tools, small footprint, fast, energy efficient. It's 5 axes.
like you, fast, energy efficient, small footprint.
Yeah,
I'm not sure about that, but
we'll see that at EMO, I'm sure.
Yep. Gone.
I was going to say about EMO, is it worth mentioning some of the places that we're on when we're...
Yeah, of course. We've got some, got Fanuc, we've got System 3R, doing some stuff with SMEC as well. We're doing quite a bit with SMEC during EMO too.
Got two live streams from... I think the live stream lineup is something like Fanuc Monday, Starag on Monday afternoon, SMEC on Tuesday morning, DMG Mori Tuesday afternoon, SMEC again on Wednesday morning, and then Wednesday afternoon, racking my brains here. Need to look at the
I know you've
agenda.
got 3-9. They've got
we'll
doing some work with them.
Some live stream with 3-9. Yeah.
Monier and Zaina, I think I've said that correctly
Spinner.
as well. So it's Spinner. Thursday morning.
Courier.
Vargas. There's a lot. I think there's 37 jobs, if I'm not mistaken, and I've got 2 calls next week.
Bring it on. Bring it on.
So it's going to be a busy week, and I was even thinking whether we should do this on the Friday of EMO.
Let's do it.
No.
Yeah, let's do it.
No pressure to the camera team.
Yeah.
Can we bring in the host? Can we bring in the host?
Sorry, not
Are you in?
not me.
Can we bring in David? Yeah,
He's been waiting.
Yeah, doesn't he? It's quite nice though. If you guys could share a mic, if you don't mind.
Hi guys.
David, thank you for having us.
Thank you
here.
for coming.
Yeah,
We've had a good day, haven't we?
we have. Did you enjoy going on camera today?
No, not so bad. It's always good to see you, and thanks for making it good fun.
No, thank you. We walked in this morning and David had this a whole table of pastries for us. And you'd messaged, didn't you, say, I'm going to have some pastries. Honestly, they were sensational. So thank you for your hospitality.
Just right, I can't eat that, but they were.
We managed to pile a few away, I know.
What's Marmite was?
I think Joe's got his jacket on because he's filled his pockets with that.
Because when you're big, you're always big. So whatever he eats, it won't look much bigger if you know.
Yeah, exactly. There were too many testing them before you guys came. That's the problem.
That's a trailer for social media right there.
Yeah, brilliant.
How is things for you?
Yeah, going well. With mixed bag, start of the year, mid-year, but it's building up again, and we're nice and busy.
Challenges for you?
I think the same as what everyone else is having. It's we're struggling with a bit of material supply shortages of some of the special stuff we do.
What do you do when you're struggling there?
Well, we have to tell our customers that we can't get what they want. Obviously, it's industry standards that needs that grade, so they accept a delay, or we try and source elsewhere. But
if there is that problem, is there any way that there's another option? Is there another choice? I'm asking for someone.
Usually not with the grades that we're dealing with. Some of it's safety relief valve work, so obviously it's quite crucial, and that the right grade and spec is used, so we can't deviate from that. But I mean, that's only a small problem. It's just general business problems of everything, really. I've got a great team of guys, but they like holidays, and
we were just talking
I
about
know,
holidays.
like you.
Who doesn't?
And we've struggled the last 2 months with a few key people out on holiday, which well deserved, but it's a problem, for a small business. So
I will say you're doing exceptionally well. Obviously, some things we can't talk about on camera, but doing parts for some very well-known automotive manufacturers, supercar manufacturers. And some nice long contracts to keep you busy. Keep you Star, you do Doosan.
That's right.
You're busy.
It's been good with those coming in, and thank you. It's just nice to have regular work. In a subcontract business, it's always difficult. You never know what the next job is, but to have some regular work every month for a long period of time, it's a bit of bread and butter that.
Do you know what? When we did a podcast once, she asked me about what I worry about in business. What do you? Is there anything you worry when you put your head on the pillow at night?
Well, I think probably what you guys talk about a lot when you go out and visit engineering companies is people. I say we've got a great team. I'm sure they won't mind me saying I've got a few older members in the team that. Thinking about retirement, and it's always that worry of filling those gaps of the skill level and everything. And we've got an apprenticeship scheme now, so we are bringing that in, but we're not going to bring in some young recruits and expect them to jump on a machine and make the parts that these guys are doing. So it's kind of a fine balance, and we've pretty much got a person on every machine, so to also bring in an apprentice or two, as we've done, they're going to end up shadowing somebody rather than being left alone to run a machine.
It's a big investment because you're not getting any money back on you initially. You basically put in maybe 18 months, 2 years into a recruit, not to see any return.
Generally talking, I'm a member of the BTMA, and the general feeling is, we invest this time and money into training younger people, and engineering is not for anyone and not for everyone. And sometimes you're 2-3 years down the road and they decide they want to sell cars or something, and it's such a loss and a shame. But I'm still passionate about engineering, as you guys are, and I think it's a great industry, but we just need. It's frustrating in the UK. It's not seen as such a high profile job as it is in other countries like Germany. I believe engineering is, you classed on the same level as a doctor or something, mm-hmm. Whereas I think the reputation in England, it's a dirty old backstreet machine shop, which I hope you can see today we're not like that. And, I think generally speaking, a lot of people have got better over the years, and it's a good industry. The work's there. Frustrating, really.
I guess, you're not saying about growing the business physically, the footprint and everything like that. You're growing it in different ways, but within.
Yeah, and I think a machine dealer once told me that, he could sell hundreds of machines a year if you could give a fully trained operator programmer with it. And I'm just the same. The work's there. If I could have more people to run them, we could be bigger, but
could fulfill
at the moment I'm comfortable with. We've got a good selection of machines, good team, and rather than when any business goes through peaks and troughs, we're fairly consistent, and we can ride a storm and come.
You can sleep at night.
Yeah, I try. Well, not with my children, like we've already spoken about.
Get one of Joe's watches. He's got a Whoop. Is it a Whoop? A Whoop.
Yeah, no, it's a Whoop.
It measures your sleep.
Oh, well, mine would be fully charged because it would never measure my sleep. So, yeah. Anyway.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Appreciate your hospitality as always.
Is there any pastries left?
Paul's had them all.
Yeah, all gone. Thanks, everyone. And, looking forward to EMO in a few weeks. So hopefully we'll see you there. And I'm looking forward to the next Uncut because it'll be post-EMO, so we'll have all of the stories as well. It'll be fun.
Can't wait. Nice.